Hello and welcome to this second section. As you know, AWS offers a multitude of storage options. We will discuss most of them. Starting from storing data on EC2 instances, we will compare EBS and ephemeral storage. We'll then move on to talk about using Elastic File System as a replacement for both. Ideally, everyone should use S3 as their primary store, so we'll cover all the advanced features. We'll move on to discuss backup options with Glacier and migrating large amounts of data in and out of AWS with Storage Gateway and Snowball. Let's move on to the first video of this section. We will discuss the most basic type of storage available to EC2 instances, EBS and ephemeral storage. We will discuss the differences between EBS and ephemeral storage, which is also called instance storage. And we will see when you should use EBS and when you should use ephemeral storage. As you probably know, Elastic Block Store, called EBS, is a type of volume that you can create that you can attach to your instance. You can think of EBS volumes as hard drive that you plug into your instance. Some types of instances also have what's called an ephemeral or instance storage. To see which instances have the instance storage, you can check the AWS documentation. For example, T2 instances only allow for EBS volumes. But if you scroll down, you can see that M3 instances have additional ephemeral storage available to them. This is described in documentation as the SSD storage, which is a bit confusing for people only starting with AWS, as it doesn't obviously stand out as the instance store. So what are the main differences between EBS and ephemeral storage? First of all, EBS volumes are persistent. If your instance is stopped, data on the EBS volume does not go away. That's different to the ephemeral storage. When you stop your instance, all data on that drive is lost. That's not the case if you simply restart your instance. If the instance is only restarted, the data persists on the ephemeral storage. EBS volumes have additional costs associated with them, while ephemeral storage is free. You can attach an EBS volume to any instance, while ephemeral storage, as we just saw, is only available to some type of instances. EBS volumes are remote to the machine that's running your instances. That means the actual volumes are not attached directly to the machine on which your instances are running on. The ephemeral storage is attached directly to the host, which means the access is much quicker. You can improve access to EBS volumes by using EBS-optimized instances. EBS volumes can be easily backed up by using snapshots. Ephemeral storage is by nature temporary, so other than using system-level copy, there's no way to back up the data on the ephemeral storage. AWS also offers an option to encrypt EBS volumes with KMS keys. Ephemeral storage cannot be encrypted that way. You can, however, encrypt it on a system level, as any other hard drive. So when would you use the ephemeral type of storage? It is perfect for any temporary kind of data. Those volumes are usually quite big, so they can store a lot of temporary information. It is quite common to mount them on Linux servers under the TMP directory. That way, even if your temp directory fills up, your system continues to run. Remember that ephemeral storage cannot be encrypted from AWS level. You can, however, use any regular tools to encrypt it as you would do on any other hard drive. EBS volumes should be used for any data that needs to persist. Currently, they have to be used as boot volumes for any new instances. Previously, it was possible to launch instances with ephemeral storage as their boot volume. This option is no longer available. If you're doing snapshots of EBS volumes while instances are running, remember about buffers. Note all data that you've written to disk may have been flashed to it. So it is usually advisable to stop your instance before making a snapshot to ensure data consistency. Up until very recently, it was not possible to resize an EBS volume after it was created. You had to get a snapshot of the volume and create a new volume from it with a bigger size. It is now possible to resize an existing volume, even if your instance is running and using it. Remember that you may need to resize the file system on the volume after it's been resized. When using EBS, consider different volume types like volumes with provisioned IOPS, or called HDD, or other types, which offer different performance and cost, which may suit your needs better. Now that you know everything about volumes attached to EC2 instances,